All these firsthand at the forefront. As former President Rodrigo Duterte remains detained at the ICC in the Netherlands, his legal team is actively pursuing legal and diplomatic efforts to secure his return to the Philippines. At the same time, mass protests in the Philippines and other parts of the world continue to gain momentum, reflecting a strong public support to bring Fprrd back home. These public outcries raise critical questions about whether international pressure can influence legal and political decisions surrounding the former president's case. Will these legal efforts and public protests be enough to bring Fprrd back home? With us this morning via Zoom is one of the lawyers of former President Rodrigo Duterte, Attorney Israelito Torreon. Good morning, Attorney Bobet.
Hello, good morning, ma'am. Good morning to all viewers of Bilyonaryo Channel. Good morning.
Attorney Bobet, there have been mass protests, not just here in the Philippines, but in different parts of the world. Dun sa mga protest po, ano po yung napuntahan ninyo?
Well, actually, the protest, hindi naman siya protest actually. The theme is Bring Him Home, a prayer for Tatay Digong. So it's not technically a rally. It's just an aggregation of persons offering prayers to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the Lord Almighty, that President Rodrigo Duterte would be brought home here in the Philippines. It's set, bring him home, simply because it is actually connected with our petition for certiorari with the Supreme Court that it should be the government respondents that should be ordered to bring him home because they were the ones who illegally, extraordinarily rendered him outside the country and towards Hague, Netherlands, in violation of his rights under the 1987 Constitution in relation with Article 59 of the Rome Statute and Article 8 and 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 9 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
Attorney Bobet, I was seeing over the weekend also videos of T-shirts that were being produced that have the different logos of former President Duterte. Merong mga may mukha niya. Yung iba naman sinasabi, bring PRRD back home. Sino po yung mga may initiatives nito? Are these organic or is there someone organizing on behalf of these rallies?
Actually, organic talaga siya. If you will notice, nobody can organize it in 80 locations in the country, including abroad. No, it is a spontaneous action on the part of the citizens as well as Filipinos who are abroad. Nobody told them to do that. Nobody could finance that by any rate of imagination. At any rate of imagination, nobody could be behind this. This is purely organic, a pure spontaneous action on the part of the people. If you would note the attendance, it is simply overwhelming, and it shows the strong support for the former president. Any person, no, whether you are opposed to him or you are with him, has to take cognizance of the fact that the sheer attendance, the spontaneity of the actions being made by the people without any clear structure, clear command from someone shows that this is really a genuine people's action, wanting and clearly requesting that the authorities should listen to them and that Fprrd should be brought home here in the Philippines.
Did any of you expect this to happen? Yung ganito kalaking show of support?
Hindi namin in-expect ito kasi noong sa Hong Kong kami, we were there only to attend the pasasalamat kay Fprrd, and then tumawag sa akin si Senator Bato the night before March 9, I believe, Saturday night, na meron na daw warrant of arrest sa kanya and kay Fprrd. Of course, we informed ES about it and Fprrd himself. Pero definite talaga siya si President Rodrigo Duterte na umuwi instead nga na morning 4 o'clock. Minove pa niya earlier and hindi namin inakala na ganito yung magiging reaksyon. Hindi namin inakala na huhulihin talaga siya kasi hindi kami binigyan po ng kopya ng warrant of arrest. The procedure under Article 59 that there should have been referral to the competent judicial authority should have been followed. The procedure under Section 17 of RA 9581 where the surrender should have been referred to pursuant to our extradition and treaties. Hindi rin ito na follow, and even Article 89, if you call it surrender under the Rome Statute, supposedly under Article 89, the national laws of the accused should have been followed. No, hindi rin ito na-follow, kaya siguro ganito yung katindi ng reaction po ng taong bayan.
Attorney Torreon, at that time, knowing or getting that advance information that there was already an arrest warrant issued by the ICC, what would you have...
Raw information.
Raw
yes.
information lang po at that time. But what would you have advised former President Duterte at that time? Would you have advised him to stay in Hong Kong? There were rumors as well that he was seeking asylum in China at that time.
No. I do not have any personal knowledge, and I think it's not true that he was seeking asylum. No, that's not true. But admittedly, some of my fellow lawyers advised him, that he can stay in Hong Kong in the meantime to verify whether or not there is indeed a warrant of arrest against him. No? Sinabihan siya, definite ako, may mga kasama akong abogado na nagsabi sa kanya, why not stay muna dito sa Hong Kong? Pero iba si Presidente Rodrigo Duterte, gusto niyang harapin kung meron man yung warrant of arrest, kung totoo man talaga yun. Hindi nga pinakita sa kanya.
And hindi naman po secret, even in international news coverage, it's been brought up that this cooperation between the Philippines to execute the arrest warrant was due to a political feud between the Duterte family and the Marcos family. Would China have been more neutral, in your opinion, if former President Duterte remained there?
That I cannot speculate because I am not a representative of China, and I would not dare venture into speculating what would be the situation would be if he is still president, and what would be China's reaction.
But in that case, staying in Hong Kong, for example, would have resulted in what? It would have given former President Duterte more time to...
resulted in clarity. Yeah, it would have resulted with more clarity, and I could have filed the petition properly without so much haste, because the petition itself at that time was only intended at first for Senator Ronald De La Rosa. But we had to change it midstream in the evening of March 10, when I received instructions from ES Medialdea to include him in the petition. So I had to do that fast, and that is probably the reason why the Supreme Court did not grant our TRO at first for lack of clear and unmistakable right, which is actually right in esse. No? And we filed a supplement to the petition with motion for reconsideration last Thursday, and we argued therein that since he was the subject of the warrant of arrest and he therefore had the requisite legal personality to question the warrant of arrest, and that Senator Bato likewise is still present in the country, and he has the requisite legal personality to question such warrant of arrest as against him.
Attorney Bobet, so would you say that it's confirmed that Senator Bato de la Rosa has an outstanding warrant of arrest?
I'm not saying that he has a standing warrant of arrest. I have not seen that. It was never shown to Senator Bato de la Rosa. He was present last prayer activity last March 15 in Liwasang Bonifacio. None was shown to him. And what we are saying is that even if it was not shown to him or it is not shown to him, he has the requisite legal personality to file a petition for certiorari expanded concept under Article 8, Section 1 of the 1987 Constitution and prohibition, because what he is seeking is the prohibition for continued cooperation with the ICC, knowing that we already withdrew effective March 17 of 2019 from the Rome Statute. And under Article 127, Paragraph 2, the only exception there is that when the matter is under consideration by the ICC, and it is our humble stand that a mere preliminary examination on the part of the prosecutor in 2018 cannot be considered as a matter under consideration, because what is contemplated is that situation described in Article 15, Paragraph 4, where the pre-trial chamber orders an investigation, and therefore this is already a judicial process which would operate Article 127, Paragraph 2, and such only happened in September of after 2 years after the effectivity of our withdrawal from the Rome Statute.
Is that argument applicable to both former President Duterte and Senator Bato de la Rosa?
Yes, ma'am, because when the pre-trial chamber only acted on September 21 of 2021 to order a formal investigation, that already that is already beyond March 17 of 2019, because that's the cutoff period. And it is our humble stand that since there is no more jurisdiction, effectively there is no more jurisdiction, the pretrial chamber could no longer legally act on the matter, because that should have been done before. And that is likewise pursuant to the complementarity principle, that since we have national sovereignty and our judicial system is working, any and all complaints after March 17 of 2019 against President Duterte or Senator De La Rosa should be filed before the local courts, because the local courts are working and it is fully functioning, and therefore such proves that ICC no longer has jurisdiction on the Philippine situation concerning war on drugs.
So these issues would be raised in the pre-trial chamber?
During confirmation of proceedings, I believe, but since I am not yet officially a one of the counsels, I would rather not comment so much insofar as ICC yet. I would limit myself to the case that we filed before the Supreme Court.
Okay, so kayo po, you will concentrate on the case here in the Philippines?
Yes, without prejudice, if I will be called later by the VP or by the family of President Rodrigo Duterte to act as an assisting counsel, I may go to Netherlands likewise. Mm-hmm.
Do you need to be registered or accredited by the ICC in order to assist?
Yes, there is such a requirement, and we are working on that. Hopefully, it will be acted upon. Yes.
Okay. And in the meantime, nakakausap niyo po ba si Vice President Sara or nakaka-coordinate niyo rin po ba si Attorney Harry Roque?
We are coordinating with ES Medialdea po. We are coordinating with ES Medialdea. As a matter of fact, we had a long discussion the other day po.
Would you know if finally Vice President Sara has been able to visit her father, former President Duterte?
As of the moment, I have no information if she was able to visit the former president as of the moment. I have no confirmation yet.
And going back to the rallies, Attorney Bobet, pumunta po kayo sa Liwasang Bonifacio.
Yes.
Ano po yung nakita niyong sentimiento ng mga tao doon?
Well, the sentiments were clearly from the heart. No, the reaction was spontaneous. No, we just posted an information that there is going to be a prayer for Tatay Digong, and we were surprised by the great number of attendees to the prayer activity. I would not call it a rally because we would not use it. We would not use that word, although some journalists cannot help but use that word. But it is a prayer activity. The theme itself is bring him home, a prayer for Tatay Digong. It's really an aggregation of persons trying to have a collective prayer to the Lord Almighty, to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, that He would intervene and that He would touch the hearts of the judges of the ICC to issue an order to bring him home here in our country.
Nagsalita rin po ba doon si Senator Bongo?
Yes, nagsalita po siya. As a matter of fact, when he spoke, marami pong umiyak because he recounted his personal experiences with the former president and his experience during the March 11 event. Hindi siya pinapasok, yung medisina ni Presidente Rodrigo Duterte wala na, no? And there was difficulty in giving him his medicines kasi pumunta siya sa Hong Kong, good for 3 days lang yung medicines niya. Marami pong naapektuhan doon sa kanya ang recounting of the events and his past experiences with the former president.
Bukod po sa kay Senator Bongo, sino pa po ang mga dumalo doon?
Dumalo po doon, may representative po si Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy. Through me and through some of the members, ipinaabot din ni Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy yung kanyang simpatiya sa kanyang matalik na kaibigan masyado, and he voiced therein his readiness to extend whatever support to the former president. Dumalo din si Senator Bato de la Rosa at he also expressed his sentiments against the administration because he was assured that the ICC would not be given any role here in the country, no less than the president himself. Kaya nga medyo emotional si Senator Bato during that time. Attorney Vic Rodriguez likewise spoke during the event. Si Senator J.V. Hinlo was also there. Attorney Raul Lambino, no, yung kasama ko, siya yung isa sa tumulong sa akin nung nag-file kami ng petition, nung nag-confirm na may TRO ba, no? Grabe ang tulong ni Attorney Raul Lambino, nandun din siya. Si Attorney Jimmy Bondok. Attorney Jimmy Bondok was even able to compose a song right away for President Rodrigo Duterte, no? Lahat po ng mga kandidato ng PDP nandun, tsaka yung mga mga party list. Like for example, yung ang Bombero party list nandun through Ma'am Naik, yung sagip ni Congressman Marcoleta. Congressman Marcoleta was there also. Nagpakita din siya, no, ng suporta. Yung ang Bisaya party list nandun din. Yung what you call this, yung iba-ibang mga party list na pumunta sa GIP party list, yung ang Bombero, marami pa pong iba, ang dami po, hindi ko na ma-state po lahat.
Attorney Bobet, may napanood po ako na speech din ni Senator Bongo. I think this was before the rally or peace gathering, prayer gathering in Diwasang Bonifacio. But in that speech of Senator Bongo, this was prior to yesterday, meron siyang sinabi na yung mga nakinabang noong panahon ni Tatay Digong, nasaan na kayo ngayon? So, yung mga former officials po ba or former cabinet secretaries, apart from those that are clearly present there and to help former President Duterte, meron po bang mga nag-reach out na para magpakita lang ng suporta or tumulong kahit behind the scenes?
Marami po yung mga former cabinet secretaries ni Fprrd. Marami po. Nandun nga si Secretary Cusi, yung si Secretary Mamao, the Department of Migrant Workers, even spoke during the event. Maraming mga department secretaries na dumalo at nagpahayag po ng kanilang suporta. And they were personally present during the Liwasang Bonifacio prayer activity for Fprrd.
Sa lahat po ng mga naging protest actions, kasi meron ding napakalaki last night na nakita namin sa Davao, meron din sa Cebu. Ano po yung, sa observation nyo, ang pinakamalaking gathering so far?
Yung sa Cebu at saka yung sa Davao kahapon, yung Solidarity Walk kasi napuno talaga yung puno talaga yung Claveria, which is one of the main streets of Davao City. And even San Pedro Street, no, ang dami talagang tao. Makikita naman, organic yun lahat. Hindi mo pwede kargahin yun out of their own volition, no? Pumunta sila at saka may rumor kasi na lulusubin yung bahay ni Fprrd, yung bahay ni Vice President Sara Duterte, ni Congressman Pulong. Meron daw warrant of arrest against 81 persons at saka meron din daw order ata, search warrant na pasukin yung mga bahay ng mga Dutertes. Kaya out of their own volition yung mga tao po as far as Cebu dumating at pumunta sa bahay niya dito sa May Matina, yung bahay naman doon ni Congressman Pulong Duterte. Marami ding tao doon sa Catalunan Grande, doon sa Turil, sa bahay ni Mayor Baste, ang dami ding tao doon. And this really shows that the people have acted and they are willing and able to defend whatever excessive governmental actions that may be done as against the Dutertes.
The next hearing po is in September.
23.
Matagal pa po yun. In the meantime, do you expect that these types of gatherings, prayer rallies, or even protests to bring former President Duterte back home will continue and be sustained?
Actually, it depends upon the people. No? It depends upon the people. Hindi naman namin sila sanasabihan na mag-gathering kayo. It's really an spontaneous activity. Kanina ngang early morning, 2:30 in the early morning, my cousin in Canada, in Toronto, Canada, called me and requested me to deliver an impromptu message to the people who were gathering in Toronto, Canada. And even if it was 2:30 in the morning, I had to oblige. And I delivered a speech to the people there via messenger, no? And it was hooked to to a microphone, and I had the occasion to deliver a message to the Filipinos in Toronto, Canada. Somebody is organizing naman daw sa another part of Canada, and I will be requested again to deliver a message. Nobody told these Filipinos to group together and express their sentiments. And on our part, since we are actively involved, we have to oblige because we have this moral obligation to inform our fellow citizens, Filipino people, as to what is happening now. And they have to be informed as to what will be done legally insofar as Fprrd situation is concerned.
Okay. And Attorney Bobet, nakakagulat po talaga yung dami ng mga nag-gather in other parts of the world, including Finland, New Zealand. Talagang it's all over. Do you think that these actions will have any effect on the ICC? But before you answer that question, At the Forefront will return after a short break. Torreon. Attorney Bobet. Hello, Attorney.
Yes,
Are you
yes,
there? Yes. So,
yes.
given all of these mass actions, not just in the Philippines, all over the Philippines, but also all over the world, do you think this will have any effect in the ICC?
Well, the ICC is composed of veteran judges. I don't think it has any effect, but somehow I would like to believe that they're also human beings. And as human beings, they can perceive and they can observe as to what is happening. This is perhaps the first time ever that an accused, he is loved by so many people that to the extent that even the ICC building, you can see a lot of Filipinos mobilizing their group there, showing their support to Fprrd, and hopefully this will be seen by the ICC justices. And I'm not saying that this is purposive. We have no hand whatsoever as to why they are gathering there. They are simply there showing their support and love to the former President Rodrigo Duterte. And as to whether or not this can affect the ICC justices, that's up for the ICC justices. I do not know honestly whether or not this has any effect on them.
But you're right, though. It was surprising to see Filipinos traveling from other parts of the country, like France, Germany, Ireland, pumunta pa doon sa Netherlands just to show their support to former President Duterte. So we know that legally, judges, of course, have to act independently and not give in to any pressure. But from a
Yes.
political standpoint, do you think that this will play a role? Are there diplomatic channels that are being explored in order to help the cause of former President Duterte?
Well, I don't think so because diplomatic channels can be availed of by the administration. And as you can see, the administration is actually, not so in love with FPRRD. And I would not think practically that they would be initiating any diplomatic channels to, convey to the ICC about the spontaneous activities being done by the Filipinos. I would hope, though, that the Supreme Court would act on our petition for certiorari, such as but not limited to acting on our prayer for mandatory injunction, because the case is not really moot, such that the Supreme Court can order the Philippine authorities to make any and all legal moves to the ICC that since they violated Article 59, Paragraph 2 of the Rome Statute in relation with Article 8 and 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and Article 9 of the ICCPR, including the comprehensive model law implementing the Rome Statute, then if such would happen, then the respondent government authorities have no other recourse except to make such move or undertake diplomatic ways in order to relay to the ICC the fact that they violated the Constitution or pertinent Philippine laws such as Rule 39, Section 48, that they should have initiated a petition for judicial confirmation of the arrest warrant before they implemented it. And all of these can be done if the Supreme Court would, theoretically order such a mandatory injunction.
Attorney Bobet, with respect to Article 59 of the Rome Statute, this refers as well to having the person be taken to a competent authority,
Judicial
which would be the courts in the Philippines. But what would you say to those who argue that since we are no longer a member of the ICC, then this provision would no longer apply?
That's baloney. I actually replied to that to a good friend of mine who is also a fellow dean, because you are serving a warrant of arrest pursuant to the Rome Statute. So we are not acceding to the proposition that the Philippines is still a party to the Rome Statute because we withdraw as early as March 17, 2018, March 16, 2018. Effectivity date was March 17 of 2019. But granting for the sake of argument that we are still a party because of Article 127, Paragraph 2, that it was indeed a matter under consideration, although I already explained to you that such is not so, pursuant to Article 15, Paragraph 4 of the Rome Statute, no? Then Article 59 would still apply. And the strongest, argument there, if you read Article 59, Section 2, the one who or which has obligation to bring him to the competent judicial authority is a custodial state. And what is the definition internationally of a custodial state? There is actually an ICC agreement. Section 1 thereof states that it is a state in which a person under a warrant of arrest issued by the ICC is detained while awaiting transfer to the seat of the ICC. A custodial state, therefore, is a country that has actual physical custody over an arrested person pursuant to an ICC warrant of arrest, regardless of whether or not it is a party or not. So, mahirap po i-answer yan argument. So, mag-cover yan yung Article 59 regardless as to whether or not we are a state party.
In the meantime, has former President Duterte's lawyers in The Hague filed for an application for the interim release of Fprrd?
I could not comment on that, but anyways, this is just a matter of information. I think as of today, not yet. I do not know if they will consider it, but in all probability, they might. No?
And
they might.
coming back to the Philippines, when it comes to the petitions pending with the Supreme Court, may balita na po ba kayo? Because based on the 3 petitions pending in the Supreme Court, as of last week, the Supreme Court ordered the government, members of the government, to respond and comment with a non-extendable period of 24 hours and as to why a writ of habeas corpus should not issue. Meron na po bang response yung government dito?
As of these are parang wala pa akong na-receive na information. Doon naman sa aming petition for certiorari, they were required to comment also, no? And as of today, wala pa akong na-receive, no?
So, if I remember correctly, the wording was to show cause within a non-extendable period of 24 hours as to why a writ of habeas corpus should not issue. So wala pa po kayong natatanggap as to whether those specific officials of the government have already responded?
Wala pa akong information kung natatanggap po.
And you mentioned earlier that you filed a supplemental petition in relation to the original application for TRO. Is there any effort to just consolidate this with the other petitions?
It's up to the Supreme Court if they will consolidate it. It is within the power, of course, of the Supreme Court to order a consolidation. And I think it will be done. Insofar as the habeas corpus petitions, I think 2 of which have already been consolidated, if my memory serves me right. But as to the certiorari petition, I have yet to receive an order that it will be consolidated with the habeas corpus petitions. Nevertheless, we are hoping and praying that the Supreme Court would still act as the matter is not yet moot and academic. As what I have said, there is this question insofar as President Rodrigo Duterte is concerned. Part of our prayer was the prayer for the Supreme Court to act that it would order the respondents no longer to cooperate, no longer cooperate with the ICC in any of its proceedings, processes, etc., such as provision of evidences and any and all actions that would lead to recognition of the jurisdiction of the ICC, because it is our humble contention that they could not anymore. And we also pray therein that there should be a declaration that the cooperation done by the government authorities should be struck as void, and this matter is not moot. And insofar as Senator De La Rosa is concerned, there is still an issue as to whether or not the government should cooperate with ICC authorities if in case it is true that in fact there is a warrant of arrest against him. And this is a justiciable controversy. And besides, we cited David versus Arroyo, the symbolic function of the Supreme Court to guide the bench and the bar as to what to do in cases of future arrest warrants, because there is here, the case is of transcendental importance. There is grave violation of the Constitution. This is capable of repetition yet evading review, and these are exceptions to the mootness doctrine, which we all lawyers know.
Okay, and it does sound like this is of transcendental importance that would affect other Filipinos, because as of last week, there were also reports that there will be arrests or cases also have been filed or will be filed against certain individuals. This list that we saw even includes Senator Alan Peter Cayetano and former Senator Richard Gordon. So in that case, have these any people from that list reach out to the group of your councils or of former President Duterte in order to collaborate so that they can face this issue and have it also decided by the Supreme Court? Because again, that issue of continuing the cooperation with the ICC would be one, very relevant to these people, but would also determine whether future arrest warrants could be served in the Philippines by the ICC.
Well, only Senator Ronald De La Rosa contacted me. And what you call this, as to the rest of the would-be respondents, no, they have not yet contacted me, and I would not also invite them to hire me because that's ambulance chasing. I would just wait for them to contact me if they would like to file a petition for intervention with the Supreme Court. It's really up to them. And what I can say is that indeed that is a valid matter, but as a lawyer, I am prohibited by our rules to just wait for would-be clients to approach us.
So it really depends up to these individuals.
Yes, yes.
Do you think that there's any chance that foreign governments can also mediate in this case? I mentioned earlier that China, for example, has issued an official statement through their Foreign Affairs spokesperson that they have called on the ICC to avoid politicization and bias. Meron po bang pagkakataon, but China is not a state party to the ICC? Do you think there's any chance so this probably is not a legal argument, but from the political side, to have any effect on all of these proceedings?
Well, judicially, of course, it has no effect because in the first place, China is not a state party to the Rome Statute. And what I can say is that maybe politically it has it has some effect, no? As what I have said, even if theoretically ICC justices should not be affected by outward factors, but they are also human beings. And we cannot discount the fact that it may have some effect on them personally, but professionally, I would say that it should not have any effect upon them.
Attorney Bobet, you mentioned earlier that for the rally, for the peace rally, prayer rally yesterday, ikaw po yung isa sa mga representatives doon ni Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. How is he right now?
Well, he is in Pasig City Jail. He is still in prison, and he is hopeful that his petition for bail will be favorably acted by the judge. We have already completed, on my part, two of the lawyers have already completed the cross-examination of alias Amanda, and there is going to be a hearing this March 21, if my memory serves me right. And I am hopeful that really we would be able to secure a favorable ruling from the RTC judge on the ground that the evidence of guilt against him is not strong.
In the past reports, it was mentioned that Pastor Kibuloy has health problems. How is he now? Is he getting better po?
He is getting better, although we have a pending motion for dental examination because of the perhaps stress. Yung mga implants niya has to be looked into medically, and we filed that motion before the court, and we are awaiting action on the part of the court regarding that matter.
The main case itself, meron na po bang progress?
Yes, yes. As what I have already said, I already finished my cross-examination on upon alias Amanda. Another lawyer likewise finished his cross-examination. There are six accused in this case. 4, yung 4 na lang ang hindi pa naka-cross-examination doon kay alias Amanda, and we are hoping to complete the same on March 21 and March 28 if my memory serves me right.
What is your estimate po? Gaano pa katagal itong legal battle na ito?
I'm hoping na mapapabilis sana kasi ang namin, prayer sana ay marule kaagad ito kasi sa tingin talaga namin ay karapat-dapat po na uh, makalabas na po si Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy. I could not delve at length, no, as to the merits of the case for obvious reasons.
Yes, it's still sub judice. Have you been able to
Yes.
talk to Pastor Kibuloy since the arrest of former President Duterte? Ano po yung naging reaction
Sure.
niya dito?
Of course, before I appeared last, before I attended the prayer activity, I would not call it a rally, the last March 15, I had a long discussion with him, and last Friday also, March 14, I went to him personally in Pasig City Jail and discussed the issue about President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Honestly, he was the one who advised me to extend any and all help to the President because he is his best friend. Kung ano daw maitutulong ko, kung anong maitutulong ng KOJC para sa kanya, gagawin daw niya para ipakita po sa pamilyang Duterte yung todo niya na suporta at pagmamahal sa kanyang matalik na matagal ng kaibigan.
Yung mga miyembro po ba ng mga KOJC ay nag-a-attend din ng mga prayer rallies?
Yes, oo, nag-attend. Kaya nga po yun po ang advice po ni Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy na mag-attend sa mga prayer activities na i-hold. Yung kahapon nga sa Davao City, marami dun mga miyembro po ng mga KOJC. Pati doon sa Liwasang Bonifacio, marami po doon mga KOJC. At saka mga ibang relihiyon, marami akong mga kapatid na Muslim. Sa mga kapatid ko na Muslim, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Shukran for your participation. And then marami din po mga ibang relihiyon na nag-attend po. So insofar as Pastor Apollo Sikibuloy, he has always been praying for the safety of former President Rodrigo Duterte, and he has always been supportive of all his actions and plans.
Ano po ang tingin nyo ngayon doon sa nangyayari sa BARM? There has been a postponement of the elections. What is your opinion in terms of the upcoming elections in the BARM?
I think there was an order postponing the BARM elections, and I think the president has appointed a new CM, no? And that it is only up to that I can comment on.
Meron po ba kayong comment on the person that was appointed as the administrator for the BARM?
No comment po ako dyan kasi hiwalay po yan sa issue po against Fprrd po.
Yes, oo. Actually, let's go back to PRRD. Ano po ang message nyo sa mga supporters niya? I know that a lot of people are very concerned about his health. Na-mention nyo kanina na si Senator Bongo said na wala man lang pagkakataon na ibigay po yung mga maintenance medicines niya. Would you know kung nakarating na po kay former President Duterte sa kanyang detention facility, yung mga kailangan niya pong gamot?
As of today, wala pa. Kasi nakatulog kasi ako mga 4 o'clock in the morning. I was studying, and that's what I have already mentioned to you. I was requested to speak for the Canada crowd, Filipinos who were gathering there. Then I had to wake up early to, honor the request for interview of TV5 and sa inyo din kasi nahihiya na po ako. Ilang beses na ako na request, hindi ako makapagbigay ng interview sa kadami-dami pong coordination things, no? So kaya I have to give in, and the people also have the right to know. I have been requested by many PDP officers to also speak up kasi baka wala na nag-speak up. Kaya nga nakikita ko na yung Section 17 daw ng RA 9581, mayroon daw tayong right to surrender na hindi naman tama kasi hindi tinuloy yung batas kasi it must be pursuant to our extradition and treaties, no? Kailangan ito i-answer, otherwise baka maniwala yung mga tao na tama yung sinasabi nila. So I was requested na kailangan mag-respond din tayo, inform the people as to the real issues po. Kaya I have to give in, and that's why I am present today before you. Tsaka gustong-gusto ko po yung style po ninyo, ma'am. You are very professional. Hindi po kayo nanginginsulto. And it shows your professionalism. That's why nagpa-unlock po ako.
Ay, maraming salamat po, Attorney Bobet. Do you have any last message po sa mga supporters ni former President Duterte?
Sa aking mga ka-Duterte, no? Tatag lang tayo, no? Let's keep the faith. Let us not go violent. Kailangan talaga na we should only express our opinions within the legal sphere, no? Ang sana wag lang tayo maging violente. Let us just exercise our constitutional rights because it is part of our freedom of expression. But I would not stop you from expressing your opinions legally, from expressing your feelings kasi tao lang tayo. Lahat po tayo nasasaktan. At ipadama natin sa gobyerno na hindi na po tayo masaya, pero let's keep it civil, let's keep it, within the bounds of law. Yun lang po ang aking ipaabot po sa kanila.
Very well said. Thank you so much po, Attorney Israelito Torreon.
Salamat po, salamat po.